Good evening, I'm Raghavi and welcome to the Above the Fold show. We begin with key Supreme Court observations in a case involving a minor's pregnancy, concern in Kargil over Ladakh's 7 new districts, heavy rain causing disruption in Bengaluru, Pete Hegseth's first congressional testimony, and more. So stay with us for the full report. In a significant ruling on reproductive rights, the Supreme Court has made strong observations while hearing a case involving a minor rape survivor and the legal limits on pregnancy termination. The court's remarks could have far-reaching implications for bodily autonomy and existing law. Here's the report.
April 30th, the government came to the Supreme Court saying that, they had difficulties in accepting a February 6th decision of the Supreme Court where it allowed a 15-year-old rape survivor to medically terminate her 30-week unwanted pregnancy. Now, the law allows only abortion or medical termination up to 24 weeks, and the court said that, and the center said that this is a child versus child and not a fetus versus child issue, and though the child would probably be born with abnormalities, if it's already a child, it's already a life. Now the Supreme Court said that that is for the child, for the rape survivor and the parents to decide. The state has absolutely no locus standi here, and it cannot allow a 15-year-old to live her life with a scar of having given birth to at such a young age, and that too the cause of a rape. Now, the court also told the center to amend its laws so that to lift the time limits on medical termination of pregnancies in case of rape, especially in the case of minor rapes.
In another development, concerns are rising in Kargil over Ladakh's new district map, with leaders questioning the move as only 2 districts are Muslim majority. The criticism came a day ahead of Union Home Minister Amit Shah's 2-day visit to Leh. For more on this developing story, we are joined by our correspondent Pirzada Ashik from Srinagar.
Ladakh is back in news for a different reason. The centre has decided to grant 5 more districts to the Union Territory. Earlier, Ladakh had just 2 districts, the district of Leh, which is a Buddhist majority district, and the district of Kargil, which has been traditionally a Muslim majority district, and most of the Muslims who live in Kargil belong to the Shia sect within the Muslim community. So it has a very dynamic population and demography. So with the creation of 5 more districts, for example, they created a district out of a Nobra Valley, Changthang Valley, Sham Valley, Nubra, and even Zanskar is a separate, and Dras is a separate district now. On one side, where people welcome the decision because they had to cover long distances to reach to their district headquarters in case of any work, but now that distance as well as travel hours will be reduced by 50% in most of the cases. When the deputy commissioner or senior superintendent of police will start sitting at district headquarters, it will bring a lot of ease in daily and routine life of Ladakhis. But when you look at the 5 districts which have been created, Nobra, Changthang, Zanskar, they're all now Buddhist majority districts. It's just Dras and Kargil which remains as Muslim majority districts in the Union Territory. Interestingly, even in Dras, there are a sizable population of Sunnis, and there is this feeling that an attempt is being made to create a very sectarian tension between Sunnis and Shias of Kargil by demarcating a separate district for Sunnis. I mean, these are the voices which are coming from the Kargil clergy, from the civil society groups, and there are growing demands that there should be inclusion of 2 more Muslim majority regions in the list of districts announced by the centre so far. These districts were announced at a time when Union Home Minister Amit Shah is visiting Ladakh. It would be interesting how Amit Shah, while staying in Ladakh, reaches out to different voices and different demands. At least there is unanimity when it comes to statehood and 6th schedule. But when it comes to the districts, he has to walk a tightrope and ensure that hope which has been floated by the centre by generating or creating 5 more districts, does not die very soon in Ladakh.
Moving on, heavy rain, thunderstorms and hailstorms brought much needed relief from the searing heat to Bengaluru, but also left a trail of widespread damage. A wall collapse in the Shivajinagar area has raised questions over safety and preparedness in the city. Here's the report.
वो हाथ फूक गया, इधर हंकी बंद हो गई, रती रती दर्द है अभी। वो दर्द को रती कर रहे हैं, पोंग को मार लग के हैं।
On 29th April 2026, torrential rains lashed Bangalore. Here, near Bowring Hospital, the compound wall collapsed, resulting in the death of 7 people. Many of them were street vendors. Some of them were taking shelter from the rains.
हमारे छोटे नड़न को ऑपरेशन करना रहते, हाथ को भी, पाँव को ये हो गए, मार लाख को, आंखी का भी यहाँ मार लग गए। वो बड़े नड़न को तो यहाँ मार लाख को पूरा टाके पड़ी, ये सब ये है, मुंह सब फूगा, आंखी सब ये।
Behind me, you can see the collapsed wall, which has resulted in the deaths of several people. You can even see buried among the debris the carts that some of the street vendors were using for their livelihoods. Many people who were taking shelter from the rains here and some of the street vendors who were doing their business here were trapped under the debris. After rescue operations that were lasted for a while, the patients were taken to the hospital, and currently there are 8 patients admitted in the hospital with injuries. Doctors say their situation is stable.
आपका कौन है इधर?
मेरा मामा है, उन्हें उसके व्यापार कर ले था उधर, उसके सिर पर पत्थर गिरे, गला सभी कट को है और अभी इलाज चलेगा उसका। डॉक्टर्स हमें बिहार वाले इधर आको व्यापार करते थे।
आप कैसे पता चला इस इंसिडेंट के बारे में?
ये मेरा उन्हें फोन करे दूसरा जने मालूम हुआ कर को, मैं भी उधर ही था, मुझे मालूम हुआ, मैं आया बाद में ले को इधर हॉस्पिटल ले लगाया, शिफ्ट करे या डॉक्टर सभी दवाई चल ले गए, अभी भी इधर ही है।
क्या क्या इंजरीज है उनको? क्या क्या इंजरीज हुआ उनको?
गला कट गया है जरा, छाती में मार पर को है, पेट जरा कट को है, वो सभी हो को है पत्थर गिरने के कारण।
In other news, skeptical Democrats confronted US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth in his first congressional hearing since the US-Iran war began, triggering tense exchanges over the conflict's cost and strategy. Lawmakers question the lack of congressional approval and the war's growing price tag, now estimated as $25 billion. Concerns were also raised over civilian casualties and depletion of US munitions. In a sharp exchange, Congressman Adam Smith challenged claims that Iran's nuclear facilities had been destroyed, questioning the justification for the war. He said the war left us at exactly the same place we were before. Republicans say they will keep faith in President Donald Trump's wartime leadership for now, citing Iran's nuclear program, the potential for talks to resume, and the high stakes of withdrawal. In another international development, US President Donald Trump has welcomed the United Arab Emirates' move to pull out of OPEC and said he thinks the decision could help lower oil prices. Here's what Trump had to say.
I think it's great. I think it's great. I know him very well, Mohammed, and very smart. And he probably maybe wants to go his own way. That's a good thing. I think ultimately it's a good thing for getting the price of gas down, getting oil down, getting everything down. They have it all. He's a great leader, actually. So no, I'm okay. They're having some problems in OPEC.
Let's now turn to the Hindu Roundup for some of our exclusive content. In an editorial titled Compounding Gains on the India-New Zealand FTA, the piece says the pact may appear modest on its own, but is significant as part of India's wider trade strategy coming after 7 recent FTAs. The editorial says the COVID-19 pandemic and US tariff frictions highlighted the need to diversify supply chains, reduce reliance on China, and expand export markets. It notes that the recent deals with several partners, including the UAE, the UK, the EU, and now New Zealand, create new openings for Indian exporters. The piece highlights three gains: New Zealand's immediate removal of goods tariffs, India's protection of sensitive sectors such as dairy, and a new commitment to facilitate $20 billion in investments over 15 years. It says such targeted foreign investment and trade diversification are vital for jobs, growth, and strategic resilience, though helping domestic manufacturers scale up remains an unresolved challenge. Tap the card above to watch the editorial in the Hindu Originals YouTube channel. In this latest column, The War on Iran and the Gulf Shattered Illusions, MP and author Shashi Tharoor examines how the conflict's aftershocks could reshape West Asia's economic and strategic landscape far beyond Iran itself. He reflects on what the war may mean for regional stability, prosperity, and India's own stakes in the Gulf. Here's a glimpse.
Hello, I'm Shashi Tharoor, and in my latest column for The Hindu, I look at the situation that will await the world and the region after the Iran war. I think we have not only a wounded Iran, but also a broader region, including India, which in many ways is in peril. Iran is physically broken, terrible human toll and infrastructural toll, but with economic consequences beyond its borders. The psychological blow is as significant as the economic one, because investors and entrepreneurs have certainly been shaken in their belief that the Gulf will always escape the destabilizing effects around the rest of the region. Iran's bruised new rulers may resort to repression at home and aggression abroad, and that too could create instability radiating outward. There is, of course, some hope that regional cooperation might actually take care of the situation, overcome mistrust and rivalry, and understand that Iran's devastation is less an opportunity for dominance than a warning of shared fragility. India can, of course, play a constructive role, leveraging its good relations with the Arab states and its historic ties to Iran to serve as a bridge for rebuilding rather than watching merely as the region spirals into dysfunction and despair.
Moving on, a court in Meghalaya has reserved its order on the bail plea of Raj Kushwaha, a key accused in the murder of Indore-based businessman Raja Raghuvanshi. Kushwaha is alleged to be the boyfriend of Raghuvanshi's wife Sonam Raghuvanshi, who was granted bail a day earlier. The businessman went missing during his honeymoon in Meghalaya in May last year, and his body was later recovered from a gorge in Sohra. Police say he was attacked with a sharp weapon. A charge sheet naming 8 accused has been filed, and the court's decision on Kushwaha's bail is now awaited. Up next, in a tragic road accident in Madhya Pradesh, at least 15 labourers have lost their lives. Here's more details.
At least 15 labourers, many of them women, were killed and over 30 others injured after a pickup van overturned and collided with a car in Madhya Pradesh's Dhar district. According to police, the accident occurred around 10:30 p.m. on the Indore-Ahmedabad National Highway near the Chikliya bypass under Tirla police station limits. The speeding van carrying nearly 46 labourers lost control, overturned and crashed into an oncoming vehicle. 7 of the injured, including 3 in critical condition, have been referred to Indore for advanced treatment. Emergency responders, along with senior police and district officials, rushed to the spot and launched rescue operations immediately.
उपचार के लिए कुछ लोगों को रेफर किया गया है इंदौर में और बाकी लोगों का यहाँ पर इलाज जारी है। यहाँ पर प्रशासन, पुलिस, स्वास्थ्य की पूरी टीम मौजूद है और हम लोग निरंतर मॉनिटरिंग कर रहे हैं कि सभी लोगों को बेहतर से बेहतर उपचार मिले। और इसके साथ साथ 108 की भी गाड़ियों को मोबिलाइज किया गया है। इंदौर जिला प्रशासन से और इंदौर के CMHO और टीम से भी कोऑर्डिनेशन हो गया है। वहाँ के प्राइवेट अस्पताल, सरकारी अस्पताल सभी जगह सूचना की गई है।
Prime Minister Narendra Modi has expressed grief over the tragedy and announced an ex gratia of ₹2 lakh each for the families of the deceased and ₹50,000 for the injured from the Prime Minister's National Relief Fund. Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister Mohan Yadav termed the incident heart-wrenching and announced additional compensation of ₹4 lakh for the families of those who died, ₹1 lakh for the seriously injured, and ₹50,000 for others injured. He also directed officials to ensure free and proper medical treatment for all victims. Authorities continue to investigate the cause of the accident.
And that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Please share your thoughts on today's episode in the comment section. If you found this video useful, don't forget to save the Above the Fold playlist so you never miss an update.